Star Myths, Water Signs, created, directed, and presented by Reverend Dr. Dickie Joe Mullen. In this video, Dr. Mullen discusses the astrology of the water signs in the zodiac, which include Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces.
This is astrologer Dickie Joe Mullen coming to you with our series about the four elements in astrology: fire, earth, air, and water. They represent archetypes of consciousness, different expressions of energy, and all of the elements and all of the 12 zodiac signs fall somewhere in everybody's birth chart, ruling a house position, which is an area of life, or as the home of one of the planets, or the sun, or the moon. The star myths around the water signs relate to emotion. If there is a lack of water in a horoscope, there's really something missing or lacking in the person, sort of a human issue, although there are water houses and other influences, so don't panic if you're not Cancer or Scorpio or Pisces. Those are the actual water signs of the zodiac. Water is feeling, fluidity, response, emotion. And people with the water signs of the zodiac literally do enjoy being near the ocean or the beach, or the lakes and rivers, streams, even the rain. Cancer. June 21st to July 22nd, you mark the beginning of summer. By the way, the four cardinal signs, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, and Aries, represent the different times of the year. Cancer, you're kindly, sympathetic, and oh so overly sensitive. The crab is always responsive. The second of the cardinal and first of the water signs represents the emotional support you give to others. Driven by moods and feelings, you have a special affinity with the ever-changing moon and the tides. Mother legends from around the world have a link to this gentle and nurturing birth sign. Mother is the most important person in almost every Cancer's life. She might be an angel, she might be a demon, but she's an important figure. One of the most intriguing of the tales of mothers originates on the South Pacific island of Malekula in the New Hebrides. A crab goddess legend from there has been shared since prehistoric times. The island's crab woman is named Lahev, and she reflects the powers of the moon, the ruler of Cancer. Lahev personifies the birth mysteries, and she appears with two lunar crescents, which also become the crab's claws. Her sacred labyrinth is thought to lead to the depths of the sea. Tortoise and snail, as well as crab shells, are her sacred symbols. The shells represent the lunar orb as it moves perpetually from light to darkness, then back again. In Egypt, Cancer appears as two turtles, called the stars of the waters. These water turtles suggest the waxing and waning of the moon and show its influence upon the tides. There is a touch of the loner or hermit suggested by the symbol of the vulnerable cosmic crab. An impenetrable shell guards the soft internal self, just as quiet and reserved nature disguises the crab's great determination and dedication. Along with Taurus the bull, the crab holds on and is often the most persistent and most likely to get what it wants, for good or not so good. The crab wins its point by sheer persistence and staying power. The crab's claws again hold on no matter what. The sensitive and home-loving Cancerian often becomes surprisingly successful in a chosen profession just due to the virtue of determination. The sign of Cancer contains a number of fixed stars within its span, probably more than any other sign. Early portrayals of the crab will show one claw pointing heavenward and the other downward. This illustrates the higher and lower potentials of the fixed stars, as well as the swinging moods up and down of the lunar cycle. The up and down of the claws show great changeability and creativity. This can amount to genuine eccentricity, though. A 13th century zodiac, Sacre de San Michel, Val de Susa, portrays the crab as a scarab, the sacred beetle. The Egyptian name for Cancer is Pajer Hadi, the equivalent of a scarab. The scarab is an emblem of eternal life, illustrates Cancer's link to the mother and the processes of birth, death, and rebirth again. Scorpio, October 24th to November 21st. The second water sign, subtle and discerning. Scorpio is linked to rebirth and eternal life also, as well as death, a natural part of life. Pluto, the planet, we do call Pluto a planet, yet even though some of the astronomers have debunked it, we astrologers feel it'll reclaim its own. It was debunked when it was retrograde. So Pluto, the planet of deep space and the gate to the unfathomable, rules this water sign. To achieve happiness, Scorpios must first resolve extremes of emotion. Eventually, from the immense and impassioned depths of feeling grows peace and acceptance. There is a recognition of the power wielded by silence and secrecy. This creates an innate talent for all kinds of magical work. The ability to keep silent is very important in ritual, visualization. It's like planting a seed and then pulling it out too soon to see if it's sprouted. The darkness and the secrecy is a very, very big part of the higher potentials of Scorpio. In spiritual manuscripts from the 12th century, the scorpion appears as a serpent which can cleverly disguise itself with a pleasant countenance. Selket of ancient Egypt was a scorpion goddess who governed intimacy, passions, bliss, and ecstasy. On his quest for immortality, Gilgamesh, the hero of the great Sumerian epic, met a scorpion in the forms of men guarding mountain gates. Driven always by a sense of purpose, Scorpio is both intense and subtle. Second of the water signs and third of the fixed sign groups, Scorpio has a traditional association with all that is mysterious. Passion, death, and birth metaphors appear again and again in the legends about Scorpio, projecting the deepest thoughts and need in order to not easily revealing vulnerability. Scorpios are not easily going to admit others to the innermost sanctums of their beings. Trust must be cultivated respectively first. In the Ancren Relui, a special spiritual manuscript written during the 1300s, tremendous extremes of good and evil are contained within this sign, illustrated by a Scorpio spider with a sinister serpent's body, yet the most pleasant angelic smile that you would ever want to see. In Egypt, the heavenly Scorpio goddess Selket was always invoked to bless the wedding bed. A statue of her also stands watch with winged arms, protectively guarding the eternal one of the pharaohs. More ancient images of Selket show her as a daughter of Ra, with a lady's head, again atop a perfectly formed scorpion. Pisces, the final water sign and the final mutable sign of the zodiac, and the last of the zodiac before we begin again with Aries, is February 19th through March 20th. There is always a haunting and otherworldly atmosphere blurring this fourth of the mutable and third of the water signs. Ruled by elusive Neptune, your world is a subtle one, a universe with many illusions. Receptive, very emotional, changeable, and sympathetic. Pisces, you feel tugged in different directions. The fish swimming in different directions, yet bound together by a shining cord, symbolizes this dual nature of struggle. In Babylonia, astrologers recognized Pisces as two fish goddesses, Anumatem and Sima. They were linked by a silver leash among the stars. In Syria, 3 sacred pools were the homes of temple fish, who were tamed and pampered. When the goddess Artemis descended from earth into the waters of one pool, she took the 2 fishes back with her, and they're seen now in the constellation of Pisces. With a nature that combines romance with intuition, you are sensitive to the point of being genuinely psychic. Guided more by emotion than intellect, Pisces can seem unreliable or impulsive to those who don't understand. Still, there's a loving and caring nature that exudes a compassion that captivates others in the end. Pisces has been compared to the chameleon as well as the fish. The chameleon is hiding in a garden of water and flowers, changeable in color. Longing to avoid conflict, you'll seek to blend the most pleasant options into all that's available. The fish, symbolized by the single silver cord along the line of pale blue and green fixed stars, known to Arabian astrologers as the al-Risha, is a cord that is esoteric occultism. It's the line that's attaching the spirit or silver cord of the soul to the body. Forever tied together, the spirit and soul become the Zodiac's pair of fish. They struggle to remain together while swimming in opposite directions. The struggling fish symbolize this complex birth sign, the most complicated of the cusps, the changeable degrees where one zodiac blends into another. This is both the alpha and the omega, the end and the beginning of the zodiacal wheel. This is astrologer Dickie Jo Mullen coming to you from Orlando, Florida, with our series about the 4 elements: fire, earth, air, and water in astrology. My book, Kuhali and the Spirit of Prism Rosa, is available by order if you would like to learn more about astrology and the paranormal in an allegory format. Sky Maiden Musings, my website, will give you a link as to how to order the book if you would like.